Hello and welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to our second card for this week's stamp set of the week, Ready, Set, Go. It's the perfect stamp set for the racing enthusiastic, in your life. Anyway, it's that perfect stamp set. It's 10 stamps with 2 images of a racing car. You've got the checkered flag. You've also got a cone and you've got the sentiments zoom, ready, set, go, happy birthday, welcome to the team. You've also got a skid mark, I suppose you could call it, and you've got checkers going along there. So this is, as I say, our second card. So if you didn't see the one on Monday, pop back and have a look. It was a quick and easy one. This one again is quick and easy, but slightly more stepped up. So let's reveal the card. And it's this card here we're going to create. So you can see I've got designer series paper, cardstock, and then the little focal image just there. Right, so let's bring in our supplies. So I am going with Mossy Meadow. Now the Mossy Meadow is 8 inches by 5 3/4, and we're going to score it at the 4-inch mark. We have then got Daffodil Delight. That measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I have a piece of designer series paper. Now, I did remember the name and it's gone and forgotten it, so bear with me for a second. I'm just going to reach across and I can tell you what it was called. It's called Brushed with Beauty. And I thought it quite, it was muddy and gave you that kind of grungy garage kind of feel. So I've used that. I've also got a piece of Daffodil Delight. Now, this measures 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. I have a piece of Daffodil Delight again. This measures 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches. And then we're going to move on to our white pieces. So this is 1/2 inch by 2 3/4. This is a white piece, which is 2 by 3. And then I've got the inside layer, which measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. So let's do the stamping first before we put the card together. So the inside layer, I'm going to put the sideways racing car in. I'm going to stamp this in the Secret Sea. I prefer it to the Memento Black at the moment, so it will probably do a lot of appearing. So there's the racing car for the inside. Then we've got our sentiment. I'm using the Happy Birthday from the Simply Said stamp set. One of my favourite stamp sets, word stamp sets anyway. Not quite sure what I'll do when that disappears, but I'm sure there'll be something to replace it soon. Right, and then we've got our forward racing car, which I'm going to ink up again. And I'm going to pop it into the bottom right hand corner down here, and that leaves me just enough space in the top left hand corner to put the checkered flag, which will go there. Right, so the only thing we need to do now is to colour that in, and I'm going to use Daffodil Delight. I'm using the light Secret Sea for the wheels, and I'm using dark real red for the other parts. So as usual, I have already coloured it in, so let's swap that over. There we go. Makes my life so much easier. The last thing you need is to watch me colour everything in. So what we're going to do now is to create the card. Right, let's put these pieces together. So let us mount everything first. So I'm going to put the designer series paper onto the back of this, or to the front of this Daffodil Delight. So you can see you've got the beautiful flowers on one side, and then you've got the what I call mud effect on the other side. It's probably not what they intended it to look for, but I thought it was perfect for this. I'm then going to put my focal image onto the backing of the yellow, and I shall do exactly the same with the sentiment strip. There we go. Push it over. Okay, and then that's going to go there. Right, so what we can do now is to create the card. So as I said, I've folded this or scored it at the 4-inch mark. I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder, and then I can lay across the designer series paper. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose for that, just quicker, and gives you that wiggle room to move it around should you need to. Okay, now I'm going to put these on. Actually, I'm going to put the inside layer just to make life a little easier. I'm going to again put my multi-purpose on the inside. Now, of course, you could colour it in if you wanted to, but I'm just quite happy to leave it blank. And then I'm going to put the happy birthday and the picture, and I'm going to raise that on my dimensionals. So let's turn that over. Should have enough here to, maybe not, might need to grab some more. Get my pot out. Lots of bits, and then a good sheet of, that's all caught up. There we go. Right, let's put that piece in the middle there. I'm going to use my pointy tool to take the backing off. 1, 2, 3. Oops, come on. There we are. And then that one. So that's going to be top left hand corner. I'm making sure that the gap that's on the left and the top are of similar size. Okay, and then this will give me room for my happy birthday. Might as well use up all the bits, mightn't we? It seems silly to waste them. That goes up there, and then that one can go along the bottom like so. There we go. Right, let's use, actually that one we can peel off. Pull that one off, and that one. Right, so once again, another quick card. Ideal if you've gone to make a card in a hurry. So here are the 2 cards, side by side. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I hope you like this card. I will be back on Friday with a funky fold, so do join me there. Take care. Bye.